The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Well, I just got back from Roswell, where the aliens have been. And if you ask the feds the cause, well, they'll only lie again. Now I'm hunted by the gumshoes, and I'm wanted by the cops, 'cause they think that I might be the guy making circles in the crops. And I know that there's a conspiracy from the voices in my head. Elvis lives, that's clear to me. It's McCartney who is dead. And if the Mars men should come again and take me, I will go. I will take a trip on their rocket ship. God bless the UFO. Give JFK this message. It's the Cuban Army's fault. And I know that Dave Koresh is alive inside a vault. We've seen reports in papers of a guy who knows about a car that runs on chewing gum, but the Arabs rubbed him out. And we loudly warn that America is badly unprepared. With the Cold War through, we need something new that can get you good and scared. You wonder just who is warning you of conspiracies today. We're the ones who fill the rumor mill. We are the CIA.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and yes, we're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. What a day this has been for ufology. Today in Washington, D.C. at the National Press Club, there was a press conference held by former members of the United States Air Force who said that aliens and UFOs posed a threat to our nuclear weapons. We carried that entire topic in the previous hour with Stephen Bassett, who is trying his very best to break the truth embargo on UFOs. His website, once again, is www.researchparadigmgroup.org. Thank you. I was on the Bill Kelly Show earlier today. In fact, I'm going to play Bill's interview with me in the next segment. We were talking about a story that came out this weekend from a United Kingdom newspaper, The Telegraph. And it reads, UN to appoint space ambassador to greet alien visitors. A space ambassador could be appointed by the United Nations to act as the first point of contact for aliens trying to communicate with Earth. No, we're not talking about the aliens from other countries. We're talking about the visitors from the stars. Mazlan Othman, a Malaysian astrophysicist, is set to be tasked with coordinating humanity's response if and when ET contact is to commence. Aliens who landed on Earth and asked, "Take me to your leader," would be directed to Mrs. Othman. She will set out the details of her proposed new role at the Royal Society Conference in Buckinghamshire next week. The 58-year-old is expected to tell delegates that the proposal has been promoted or prompted by recent discovery of hundreds of planets orbiting other stars, which is thought to make the discovery of extraterrestrial life more probable than ever before. Mrs. Othman is currently head of the United Nations' little-known Office for Outer Space Affairs, also known as UNOOSA. Now, opinion is divided about how future extraterrestrial visitors should be greeted under the Outer Space Treaty on 1967, which UNOOSA oversees. UN members agreed to protect Earth against contamination by alien species by sterilizing them. We'll talk more later when I come back from this commercial break. We're going right to my interview with my friend Bill Kelly that was live this morning on AM 900 CHML. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break. Don't go away. Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X-Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled lite.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Love to an alien near Roswell last night. We strolled along together in the pale moonlight. I had a funny feeling that something...
Where Fred Eisenberger, who's running for re-election, obviously, in the city for the mayor's job, announced he was going to have one of his campaign plans, he wants to hire a goodwill ambassador to be a greeter for new immigrants to the city. And at the time, I thought it was kind of a ridiculous idea, and another layer of government and paying for another position, and, totally unnecessary. But I guess you have to put things in perspective, okay? Then on the weekend, I get this story, and at first glance, when I saw this headline, I thought, okay, this is a gag. This is something somebody made up. This is something out of the Inquiry, the National Enquirer, rather. It's a lark, right? And then I thought, wait a second, is this April 1st? No, it's not April 1st. Okay, it can't be an April Fool's joke. Because sometimes news wires, will put out silly stories as April Fool's jokes. And I said, no, it's not. This is from the Telegraph in London, England. The United Nations apparently will be appointing a space ambassador to greet alien visitors. I'm not making this up. A space ambassador could be appointed by the UN to act as the first point of contact for aliens trying to communicate with Earth. There's a Malaysian astrophysicist named Mazlan Othman who is set to be tasked with coordinating humanity's response if and when extraterrestrials make contact. Aliens who land on Earth are asked, take me to your leader. Well, apparently they'd be directed to Mrs. Othman, who will be the space ambassador for the United Nations. This is what they're talking about at the UN, and I thought maybe they were going to try to solve the famine problem in Africa, but apparently no, they're trying to get this thing. We'll get to famine in a minute, okay? Please, we've got our priorities. We have to get this space ambassador settled first, all right? Been talking about this ever since the Michael Rennie movie back in the 50s, and we've got to get this thing nailed down. Our good friend Rob McConnell, host of the X Zone radio and TV shows, is with us to talk about this possibility. Rob, it's good to talk with you again.
Oh, it's great talking to you, my friend. So, Bill, why don't you apply for the job?
I was going to say, why not you? I thought, listen, the reason I wanted to talk to you about this is because when I heard the UN was going to appoint a space ambassador, I thought, and they've overlooked McConnell, what the heck is going on? This is an injustice of great magnitude.
Well, there you go. If maybe I should just apply for the job of Hamilton's greeter from Outer World.
Well, there could be that, too, I suppose, yeah.
But you know what?
What do you think of this idea?
Well, it's really amazing because there actually is the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs. Now, the office, which is known as UNOOSA, is the United Nations office responsible, Bill, for promoting international cooperation and peaceful uses of outer space. It also serves as the secretariat for the General Assembly's only committee dealing exclusively, Bill, with international cooperation in the peaceful uses of outer space. It's also responsible for implementing the Secretary General's responsibilities under international space law and actually maintaining the United Nations Register of objects launched into outer space. So this is a very active and significant branch of the United Nations.
And that sort of makes sense to me. That's basically keeping track of the hardware that's up there, who's sending it up, who's controlling it, make sure you guys don't bump into each other and that sort of thing.
That's right. But it also is responsible for satellite imagery requests during disasters and manages, now listen to this, the United Nations Platform for Space-Based Information for Disaster Management and Emergency Response, which is known as UN SPIDER.
Which basically means they want to get shots from way up there if there's something going on down here.
Or another interpretation may be, in case something falls from out there or visits from out there, there's a preparedness plan in place.
And basically, this is an offshoot of this. They want to appoint this lady. It looks like she's going to get the job to be the ambassador. In other words, I guess, to put it in their context, Rob, this is going to be the go-to person, right? When E.T. or somebody comes down here and says, I want to talk to your leader. Back in the old days, they took them to the White House. Apparently, no, they're going to take them to go see this lady now.
Well, of course, with Obama's, popularity ratings decreasing, I can understand that perfectly.
Well, that could be, too.
Yeah.
This really debunks those stories and those pictures I saw George W. Bush walking with aliens, too.
Yeah, I remember those. It's funny how every president ends up getting that picture taken. What a photo op, Bill. But you know what? It also brings back a discussion you and I had the last time I was on your show where we were talking about Professor Stephen Hawking.
And you know what? And there's some legitimacy to this because what the UN is saying is not unlike what Stephen Hawking said, is that we've got to be prepared for the fact that somebody's going to come and visit us in an official capacity